Hey, welcome back, guys, to this week's episode of Battle at the Border. You might notice that we're missing Finn's today. He had some stuff come up, so prime time 000 is going to fill in. And so it could be the best episode yet because there's no Canadian. So
Yeah.
without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. Instead of trying to keep this under heat check times. And last week, Team USA won 25-23. So you guys are doing great with the comments. Once again, we hit 100 views in a week. That's become our new goal now. So we'll see if we can keep that up. Appreciate you guys with the comments. But let's start with topic one, and I'll let you go first, Prime. And we had no idea you were going to be on the show when these topics were written, but with NYT and Woods likely headed to the AFC South, and then the Texans being the Texans, does Prime win every division title in Madden 22? And I'll let you take it first.
As much as I want to be cocky and as much as I want to say yes, the answer is no. And here's why. First of all, if you guys know me, I am not a regular season warrior. You've got your regular season warrior types. I'm not that kind of guy. I get a little more dialed in come playoff time, but let's take a step back outside of the prime time mentality and let's use some real world examples here to back this argument. Woods and NYT have actually given me some tight games in the past. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to sweep me, but I think it's possible that one of them, probably Woods, is able to split me at least once every other season or so. Now, here's a way in for Woods or possibly NYT to quite possibly steal one, and that's all it takes is one division title. You got to look at when let's say I go for season one. I have a good season. I play a first place schedule. Woods has an average season. He gets a third place schedule. So now I'm playing some tougher guys. Woods isn't. Woods splits me. I take a few losses. I go 10-6. Woods maybe gets in 11-5. That's all it takes. And over a 7 or 8 season cycle, I think the odds of getting at least one division title are better than me sweeping. I can't remember the last time I've actually swept a cycle for divisions in the SML. I just don't do that.
Okay, well, I think lucky for you, you won't have to remember back very far because I think Madden 22 is going to be where it happens if these teams
Oh,
shake out this way. You're right. I don't doubt for a second that NYT and Woods could probably split a game with you. I mean, you have those games every once in a while. Coop and October have both taken wins in games that they were heavily underdogs in. But the issue is going to be, you said Woods can maybe get 11-5 and take the division, or yeah, 11-5, which next year that'll actually be different because we're playing 17 games. But if you look at Woods' record, he plays right now in the AFC North, and I don't think he's been 11-5 at all in the AFC North with, KJ's in there, two steps in there, and NYT's his top competition. So now you're basically subbing yourself out for KJ or two step, and that's going to make his schedule a lot harder just in the division. So I don't think there's any way that either one of them actually challenge you for the division. They may steal a game here or there, but they're still both 500 players and 9-7 or 9-8, whatever the new records are going to be. I don't think
yeah.
that's going to be enough for them to overcome you. The only outlier would be if someone really good takes those Texans and has some really good luck team building, because right now even that Texans team talent wise probably can't keep up.
Yeah, one thing to consider again is, let's say Woods has been making the playoffs. I think he was the 4 seed the year he upset you,
Mm-hmm.
and Woods was playing first place schedules or first or second place schedules. I think it's possible he might get a third place schedule, and that could take him from a, like you said, 9-7 player or a 9-8 player to a 11 and what,
Whatever.
11
Yeah.
and 6 player. It's just
Yep.
stupid. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible, but we'll let the fans decide.
Yeah, I think coming down to that, you're only talking about Woods, and you've pretty much written off NYT as
Yeah,
not even an
he's
option.
he's not an
Um,
option.
I think that's going to be another reason why you're just going to sweep that division. I don't see any of them coming even close. But all right, so that's going to take us to topic two. Topic two, and this will kind of go along with that. But does playing in a tough division help in the playoffs? And I'll start with this one, and I think it does. Not only because you kind of get, used to playing against tougher competition. But some of those tough division opponents that you play, maybe guys that you end up playing in the playoffs. So you get a little more familiarity with them. And I think at the end of the day, just playing tougher competition and playing guys that you're going to see in the playoffs, that helps you.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. You're wrong, Bomber. And here's why. Here's why. Let's take a step back and say, let's look in a real world example. Flaccid Faz, who actually hasn't been that flaccid. Um, he's playing the NFC North, and literally probably the worst division in SML history, honestly. And he walks them down, just walks them down. And then he has success in the playoffs. He beats RD. He's made a Super Bowl. He's made two Super Bowls, which is second most in the league, outside of myself and Dan. Um, he has also, with that, he's able to develop his players, right? I mean, you got to look, and I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best Finn's impersonation. That's why I threw in that right then. So he's able to develop his players. When you're in a worse division, you're able to take your players and develop them. Look, let's be real. Playing against Figs, playing against Mike, not that bad, not that bad. So you're able to do some stuff with your stats, get them better, hit your dev games. You have a better shot at all that. And then on top of it, when you play a lesser division, your chances of hitting a bye week and getting that number one seed are much higher. So now you're playing the seventh seed and you have a first round bye. So next thing you know, you're in the freaking NFC or AFC championship game and you haven't even woke up yet. So I think playing in a weaker division actually kind of helps you.
Okay. It's funny you went with the Faz scenario because I was actually going to use that to argue my point. So Faz, definitely weakest division, right? There's no argument there. We can agree on that. Um,
Mhm.
would you agree that Faz is probably the best player in the NFC?
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so Faz, best player in the NFC, playing in the worst division, right?
Yeah.
Two Super Bowl appearances,
hmm
right? How many does RD have?
He's got what, three, three, two,
Two.
two,
I think he's got
two.
two. Yeah. So he's got the same number as RD. You know what Faz also has? A lot of early exits. He's lost to
hmm
Royce. He lost to was it Demuse? He seems to kind of fall apart in the playoffs. Same reason you gave him the whole flaccid Faz moniker, and I think that has to do with he's not getting as much competition. You get the top player in each division, you know, because you have that first place schedule, but playing 6 games against Mike, Hova for a while, Figs. Those are games where he walks in 49 nothing, no big deal. Probably doesn't even have to try anything. Doesn't really get any competition as far as having to work through any adversity there. Maybe Mike steals one or two games. One came at like the end of the season when Faz didn't care. But I would think if Faz plays tougher competition during the season, I think it gets him more ready for the playoffs. And I think sometimes he kind of maybe it's not even necessarily the competition. It's that he walks through them so easily that he thinks he can walk into the playoffs and doesn't mentally prepare for that.
Yeah, I guess my final point to that would be let's take a you for example or a Dan. You put Dan in that NFC North and not Faz because Faz is a basket case. He is the most disappointing player I have ever seen in my life. He's got all the stick skills, but if you take another great player and put him in that division, they might have 4 or 5 Super Bowl appearances. I'm not even kidding. The NFC is a joke, and that kind of skews the stats a little bit there. But put Mad Bomber in that division, your players are going to be even better. And I think you're probably going to have, honestly, you might have 4 or 5 Super Bowl appearances right now. But we'll see. Faz, sorry, maybe you just suck, Faz. I don't know.
All right, so maybe it is Faz's his mental makeup that's hurting him there, but I think the weaker competition is pulling him down. So topic 3, uh, and this one, being that the run game's broken, do you think that the run commit feature should be reevaluated and maybe allowed in SML? I mean, we've talked about how you can't stop the run. Should we maybe reevaluate that run commit feature?
Yeah, that's a good. So are you saying the run game is broken?
That's what the masses are saying. I
Oh,
still don't believe it, but
that's what the people are saying.
yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the run commit feature. I've thought about that, and there's been some good ideas. I think you tossed around of having it inside the 5 yard line,
hmm
maybe. So here's the weaknesses of having run commit off like we do. Um, First of all, like players with the superstar abilities. that encourage run commit, they're useless. We probably should have a rule that at least allows us to change that. But the problem is run commit just does not look realistic at all. The way the players move and react, just not realistic at all. And it's kind of like the playmaker feature a little bit when you're on offense and you're moving your right thumbstick around. I think in art of trying to be realistic, we shouldn't have it on. Now, that said, I'm not drawing a hard line against the run commit feature. Within the past 3 or 4 Maddens, they've actually changed it quite a bit because back in the day, you would only hit the thumbstick down when we wrote the rule, and that was it. They would run commit. Now you can run commit left, right, down, whatever. So I'm not completely against it. That said, if we're looking to help fix a broken run game, I think a better solution, instead of allowing a kind of weird looking, not kind of cheesy looking animations, would be to tweak the sliders. Obviously, we're too late in the cycle to allow that now. But I think going on Operation Sports, finding some good standard sim sliders and testing those out in a test league would be the way to go instead of maybe doing some weird run commit stuff.
Okay. See, I think the run commit should be allowed, and you kind of alluded to it in the beginning about how with stipulations as far as maybe where you can do it or when you can do it. But if you look at inside the 5 right now or on the goal line, everybody runs the same thing. It's up the middle. Try it 3 times, unless you're Colt, and then for whatever reason you decide that you're going to take it out of Kamara's hands and throw it 3 times. But for the most part, everybody just runs fullback dive up the middle, or they run some type of up the middle run, and you can't stop it. I've come out in goal line against single back with 3 wide receivers and still couldn't stop up the middle. Runs coming. It's not a surprise, and you still can't stop it. And I think if everybody's going to say that the run game is broken, then at least in that situation, you should be allowed to run commit and try to counter what everybody considers a broken system.
Yeah. I don't have a strong argument against this one. So I mean, it's something that should be considered.
Okay. Let's move on to topic 4. Topic 4, and we've seen this a lot. Seems like every time somebody gets beat, whether it's in their Twitter or just coming into chat, it's I got maddened, or the game was against me, couldn't do anything. How much do you think that's real, and how much? I guess do you think it's real? Is that a valid excuse that you got maddened?
So, yes, to an extent. First, we got to look at what somebody took EA to court. I think it was for MUT or for FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these court documents that were released that said there's no such thing as, I think it's DDA, like
Yeah.
dynamic ability adjustment. There's no such thing. It's fake. So Madden is not rigging games. Games are not rigged. So that's just the facts. But here's the deal. Football is random things happen in football and random things happen in Madden. And in Madden, it's a video game, and sometimes those random things just keep happening for the same person. Real world example: AFC divisional round. You played Dan last season,
Yeah.
and it seemed literally like every break Dan got, like whether his guys were reaching for the ball, whatever it was, he was getting the breaks that game. Now here's the problem. The extent is that usually Madden corrects itself. Well, if it's in the first half, then maybe the second half, the breaks will start going your way. The problem is people get the mentality, like you said, that Madden is screwing them, so they aren't able to weather the storm and be ready come second half to fight back. They kind of shut it down. So it's a yes and no, but yes, Madden is screwing people, but you got to be tough enough mentally to fight through it because your plays are going to come. Madden, crazy stuff happens. We've seen it with the Memorial Day Miracle. We've seen all sorts of crazy stuff that could have been prevented with a few tweaks here and there, but you just got to be mentally tough.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take the no side of this. I don't think the maddened is a thing. Are there weird animations? Yes. Do weird things happen? Yes. But at the end of the day, you can always look back at your game and there's something you did that cost you the game. If I don't throw an interception against Dan, it doesn't matter if he got all the reach for it. It was a one score game, and that was the difference right there. If I get a stop, it doesn't matter. Just a better user play on something changes it. A swat instead of going for a pick that maybe results in a first down, or a conservative tackle over a hit stick. It's easy to point out those big maybe not even big, just those weird animations and those weird things that Madden does, and not look back at yourself and be like, well, if I didn't hit stick here and completely whiff and give him 35 yards, maybe it doesn't matter that he had that tipped catch or that reach for it on a 3rd and 1 because he should have had 3rd and 8 or something. So I think the Madden is an excuse. I think I'm going to lose this point because I think a lot of people use that excuse and think it's fine, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think again that it's real, but it's not, and I'm kind of on your side, but also those animations do happen, and people need to stop using it as an excuse as well. I think that you're gonna get your breaks if you stay mentally tough, and Madden
Mhm.
is a very mental game, and you can see sometimes people will commentate, not necessarily you, but or you'll see it in people's gameplay when, or they'll put it in group me like, oh, all right, I'm done. Like, and then
Mhm.
they'll just shut it down because like, because two tipped passes happen or a dropped interception happens. Okay, like, yeah, that animation sucked, but you also you need to be real with yourself and understand that happens in football too.
Exactly. All right, so our last topic, and it's going to be with the new cycle coming up, and I know we always look at the rules and stuff going into the new cycle, and one that's been kind of hotly contested this year was the trade rules. Um, just look at anything Faz types; it's always about how he hates the trade
Uh,
rules. Um, but one of them that I guess could be debated maybe is should rookies be traded, and I think they should be allowed to be traded. Mostly because you got to let guys set their own teams or work their own teams.
BS meter. But anyway,
Warning! Warning!
All right,
Bullshitter
so
alert!
Prime's using the bullshit detector for the
Bullshitter
first
alert!
time this show, and it's funny that he would use it on the trade one after he trade rapes everyone in the league. Um, so so go ahead. Why don't you think rookies should be traded?
all right, so here's the deal. In the NFL, first of all, we are replicating the NFL. Rookie trades don't happen. This isn't the NBA. This isn't freaking fantasy football. This is the SML. If we're trying to replicate the NFL, teams spend months scouting, and now with this new feature in Madden that's supposed to be good and supposed to release in September, we're supposed to be have this new innovative scouting experience. So you'll have some attachment to these players, just like the NFL. Teams are overjoyed, and they're not going to trade away that investment right away, and you shouldn't either. A perfect example, and this is going to go off on a tangent, but a perfect example of our trade rules, and not necessarily rookie, but they could have been because RD joined season two, and it
Mm-hmm.
was right. I think it was season two, and it was right after Cam Akers' rookie season. But RD wanted to trade Cam Akers right away. I believe he would have traded him season one, but he didn't. And Cam Akers developed. And honestly, where would RD be right now without Cam Akers? Because he can't draft, he can't sign anybody, he can't do. RD would not be who he is without Cam Akers, and that is thanks to the SML rookie rules and SML trade rules.
Okay, so I hear you saying that it's because it doesn't replicate the NFL. Do you imagine any alternate universe or world where the Seahawks trade DK Metcalf? Because I
Oh
don't see
yeah,
that happening. If we want to replicate the real world, a guy like DK Metcalf does not get traded. Um, and it's as much as you want to be sim and everything, you still have to give owners a little bit of control over their roster, especially maybe not the ones they drafted, but coming into the cycle, the rookies that are already on the roster. It seems like uh, unnecessary to handicap them with those guys, being that they didn't draft them. Um,
yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, DK Metcalf, obviously a superstar, one of the biggest trades that have happened probably in league history. Just because who he is as a Madden player and his superstar awareness in the NFL. That said, I think with the DK Metcalf trade, you have to take the name out of it just a bit for a second, and it's hard to do, right? Because it's DK Metcalf, but all of his attributes, all of his development, everything fell into what our stipulations are, which allows him to be traded. Now, and there's a lot of people like Faz who think that we should allow more. We should allow guys even better than DK Metcalf being traded in the SML. Which honestly, personally, I think we should maybe tighten it down a little bit on superstar trades. But rookies, teams really overvalue rookies and they really and draft picks as well. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that personally.
I like it, but an example that I can think of off the top of my head. So now going into next year, Trey Sermon is a rookie for the 49ers. He's like a 60-something overall, 86 speed running back, like third or fourth on their depth chart. But according to the rules, he wouldn't be allowed to be traded because he's a rookie. And if the 49ers were able to get a decent haul for him in real life, I don't see any way they don't take it. So if we're talking sim, it just doesn't make sense to me not to be able to trade him.
Yeah, I think there's that old saying goes, you trade the pick, not the player. I don't know. We've seen Eli Manning and whatnot get traded. It happens. It does. Maybe it's something we reevaluate. But you know, Faz, if you get Faz on the show, he would prefer if we traded, if we could just rename our team to the London Black Knights and trade away Patrick Mahomes for a bag of cheese puffs or something. I don't know.
Well, after seeing Faz's offer to Field in the last offseason, I don't think Faz has any room to talk about any trades or any trade rules, because I thought that was a joke as soon as I saw it, but apparently it was not.
It's not.
But that's going to do it for this week's episode of Battle at the Border. We're just over 20 minutes, so we're kind of closing in on that timeline we'd like to be on. Guys, if you watch the video, like, comment below with your score. Prime replacing Fins for this week. Hopefully Fins will be back next week. And yeah, just keep those comments coming. Let us know the score. Who knows? Maybe next week there'll be another giveaway. And if you're watching this and you're not in the SML, it's www.simmaddenleague.com. You can go on there and apply to join the league. We've got the SML as well as the SML Primer, which has openings, I'm sure. And new cycle coming up. Might as well get in the best league on PlayStation.
Let's go.
Prime, you got anything you want to add?
No, man, I'm excited for Madden 22. I'm excited for this season to end. And hey, guys, let me know who is better, me or Fins. I think it was me, right?
There you go. So feel free to leave that in comments below as well. And until next week, this has been Battle at the Border.